Gonna do a quick sound check, make sure everything's working well. Get started in a couple minutes. Good morning to everybody. All right. Thank you. I think there's a little bit of a delay, so if you guys ask something, it might take 10 seconds or so for me to see it, or if something goes wrong. It's the first time I'm doing the YouTube live. Hopefully you guys like this format. But we'll get started right at 8:30. I'll get started. All right. All right, so let's begin. Good morning, everyone. It's Jason here. I'm one of the pro traders over at TrueTrader.net. Former market maker, been around the business since, early 90s. Everybody knows me as a goose in our chat room. All my friends call me the goose, so go with that. This is a midweek watch. I've kind of just changed this over to a YouTube live, so bear with me on the first week or two as I'm doing this to make sure I'm trying to fit everything in a certain time frame. I know the market opens up in an hour, so I want to try to get this through this within the next 15, 20 minutes or so. So a couple quick things. Make sure you guys are hitting that like button, hitting the subscribe. Make sure you guys leave comments for me. Afterwards, if you have any questions, you can ask them. I'm not sure what I'll be able to get to or not during the live session. This is the first one, so bear with that. Also, make sure you're checking out Ricky's Sunday prep. It's been amazing. He's doing an incredible job. He did a YouTube live as well on Sunday. It came out awesome. He has a little bit more time in there to cover some other things and great topics he's always putting on there, as well as his ideas. So make sure you guys are following that as well. Also on every other Thursday, he does there's a method and mindset. So with Kim Ann Curtin. So make sure you guys are keeping track of that. I'm going to go over the disclaimer real quick and then come back for 1 second. I do want to talk about something before I get started. So first of all, with the disclaimer, let's jump into it. TrueTrader nor its representatives are not registered as a security broker dealer or investment advisor with the SEC or any state regulatory authorities. We are not licensed nor qualified to provide investment advice. Guys, I'm not a licensed broker. I'm not here to provide you investment advice. This is for entertainment purposes only. So, one of the things I want to talk about today, give me 1 sec. Before I get going is, being around the business over 25 years, one of the most common things that I notice in people, I just want to talk about this briefly before we get started because it might help you immediately. It might help you today. And it talks about your risk profile. If I were to go up to most people, I would say 80 to 90% of the people that I run across, they're trying to either be profitable traders and turn that corner of profitability, or they're trying to supplement their income, maybe make 50 grand a year. Some are, ambitious at the start, trying to make 100 grand a year. And those are kind of the stories I get to. And then I start, poking and prying a little bit and finding out what they're trading. And it blows my mind. So I just wanted to run through this with you guys real quick and just how basic and how easy this is, okay? So if you guys are looking at this for a second, let's say you're one of those guys that are trying to turn into profitability. And most people I turn into and I talk with, I'll say, what would you be happy making? They're like, I don't know anything. And I'm like 50 grand? 50 grand a year, that'd be good? And they're like, hell yeah. So, 50 grand a year is what? How much a month? $4,000 a month, guys. That's $4,000 a month. That's 48 grand a year, right? Do you guys realize how much money that is a day to be able to make $4,000 a month or $48,000 a year? It's a couple $100 a day. But then the reason I'm bringing this up to you guys is I'm not saying everything's easy and well, that's easy then, $200. It's the fact that when I start prying and I talk to these folks, the size that they're trading, trying to make $200 blows my mind. They're trading 2, 3, 4, 5,000 shares of these names. Some of these are trading small caps too, which have this crazy range. And their losses are $500, $1,000, $2,000, $3,000. And then you go back to the question, say, aren't you trying to make a couple $100s? So if we go over, your risk profile and you're trying to make a couple hundred, then really should you be risking $500, $1,000 or $2,000? And I just want to make sure that you guys, heard that early on. If you guys are trading and you're one of these traders that are trying to make some sort of profitability, and your real goals are 50,000 or whatever the number is, reverse all the numbers out, do the math, make sure you guys are trading the proper size to what your risk profile is. Everybody has their own risk profile, and just back up the numbers. If you're trying to make 30 grand a year, back the numbers up, see how much you want to make a day, and make sure your risk according to how many shares you're trading and the risk and what you're risking off of, all the trades make sense to whatever that profile is. Everybody wants to do it opposite and just swing for the fences right away, which I think is absolutely nuts. So anyway, just a little bit of, a little bit I wanted to go over this morning, and I think it's something that you could kind of put into effect immediately, and hopefully that will help you out and change some things. So let's move on and let's go into some ideas. I know that's why most of you guys are here. Let's talk about the markets first of all. So last week I talked about this, and I said to you guys when this was right over here. This is the SPY that I have up. I said the market feels like all the dips are getting bought up. I don't think much has changed in my opinion. Do I think near term that we could have a little bit of a pullback to this 20-day? I don't see, just me personally, this massive pull into the 50-day area, this purple line, the 50-day. I still think that the dips are getting bought up in the markets overall, which means that you could see how the 20 days kind of trending up, getting close to the price action. I wouldn't be surprised. We had a down day yesterday. If we have another down day and maybe it comes and tests this 20-day, that'd be nice. That'd be refreshing actually a little bit. Remember, guys, don't get in a panic. When you see pullbacks in the market, that's opportunity. That's not anything to get stressed out over. So look at all these pullbacks as opportunity, because if we don't have these pullbacks, the market goes straight up, everything gets very high price and it gets things actually more challenging. So look for those opportunities. That's really the only market commentary. The Qs look the same. Is market commentary to me. I still think the dips are getting bought up on this. Maybe a pullback to the 20-day, but other than that, I think the market's okay. I of course think it's a little bit extended. To feel like I said last week, I feel like it's on steroids, but it doesn't mean that to me that it's not going to continue. And right now, I feel like it's going to be in a continuation mode. So we'll see how that plays out. So that's a little bit about the market for me. Let's jump into some ideas this morning. So first of all, let's jump into Cisco, CSCO. What I wrote down on Cisco was two different trades. I wrote down a long, possibly off 50.10. I'm more interested in the possible short on this, but let's look at the long at 50.10. I got to drag this down a little bit because it's down all the way down here. Pre-market, it's at 52.88. A quick wash down into that 50, that big whole number there at 50, plus there's a monthly pivot there, is of interest to me. More importantly, the numbers weren't great. They missed on everything small, as well as their guidance. So when I talk about numbers, by the way, these are my opinions, just from data that I'm looking at, always. So just, the real trade for me is up here if it pushes back into this 50-day area, that 56, 55.95. The 50-day is at 56.17, so I went just below the whole number on that one. So I'm not sure it's going to get up there, but watch for an early push, maybe get lucky and get a fade on Cisco. So KLIC is the next symbol that I have up there. KLIC, I wrote down a long off 60.80. Right now, this is one that's kind of, to me, it's kind of breaking out. You can see it broke out over here. It's kind of moving up, and I think there's room on this one up into this next range, into this next area that it was consolidating in, and to this monthly pivot. I feel like that's where it's heading. I wrote down as far as a possible long off this prior quarterly and this previous day's low. Nice numbers. This might actually be one, depending on I thought it was going to gap up a little bit more than that. I had written down also as a possible off this annual 62.30, but it's a little bit close. It's actually there now. So watch it off this level here, this quarterly pivot, and this previous day's low. See if there's an opportunity. Let's look at ASAN. I'm trying to slow down a little bit, guys. I go real fast sometimes. So I am trying to slow down a little bit. I wrote down a long off 124.70. There's a monthly pivot, prior support, 124.70. You could say, what? That's absolutely nuts, Goose. I mean, what the hell? It's trading at 134.50 pre-market. Look at the ATR is $9 on this name. So I don't think anything's impossible depending on what the market gives us today. That's a monthly pivot. You got prior support right in this level here. We'll see what happens. But it's been a very, very... All right. Am I still with you guys? Give me a quick yes or no in the room. It looked like I lost my connection for a second with OBS there to transmit. You guys with me? Okay, cool. Thanks. Sorry about that. Did I finished everything on ASAN? Sorry about that. So let's go into Big Five. Sorry about that, guys. I don't know what happened there. I blame Benito always. So I'm looking at a long at 26.40. I don't think it's going to get down there. I'm hoping, I like this name. I'm looking for a long on this. It came down on some insider selling. You got a 126-day annual pivot, quarterly pivot, monthly pivot, everything there. I think this is oversold. I'm talking about this level right in here. You can see the little dotted line. That's where I have an alert. You also got a 50-day right up here in the 27s. I'm not sure it's going to make it down there, but I want to have an alert down there set. Watch off 26.40 if for some reason it makes an early morning wash. So that's BGFV. All right, here we are. We're back. GE. GE is a name, and I traded this before, and I had a really nice move. I'm looking at it again back at this $100 area. I wrote down 100.40. That's right above this monthly pivot. $3 ATR, which brings it right down in that $100 number. I'm thinking it will hold the century mark. You can see the support on this thing in this $100 area. I think this might end up being a really nice trade. It's GE. We'll see what happens. But I wrote down 100.40 on that. Good support. Monthly pivot, whole number. Should be decent. Let's look at SPR next. SPR. I don't see if you guys are typing to me in the rooms, by the way. I hear the little thing clicking. SPR, I wrote down a long off 44.50. And that right here, this is one I pulled off my Market Smith. Pretty interesting one as it's claiming the 200-day. It's also the 6-month is that yellow line. I wrote down off the 6-month and the prior day's low, which is 44.50, right in this pocket right here, as you can see. Let's see what happens in there. But this is a name that's looking pretty decent to me. So let's see. I know that's a tighter ATR, just under $2, but if you could get it off that low and risk the low and these prior lows here, you could see it, where it held. It could be a pretty nice trade there, SPR. Next one is going to be a short on DD. I wrote down a possible short on DD at 81.30. There's a monthly pivot, prior resist up there, and the ATR kind of lines up perfectly. You can see right here, I couldn't get it through before when there's all this volume here. It's kind of pushing back up. Let's see if it makes a quick push into this 81.30 area on DD. So $2 ATR pushes it right back into that same level, 81.30. It's almost perfect. Watch DD if it gets an early morning action into that 81.30 area. All right. Let's look at DAR. All right, DAR, I have 71.50 written down. 71.50 on DAR. Closed on lows, so I'm thinking there's a chance on this one. 71.50. There's a quarterly pivot, 200-day and 126-day, all in this general area. I know that the 6-month is a little bit above that, about $1 above it. But this whole area here, and you can see all this prior support here. So watch DAR, see if it gets heavy. Again, down at 71.50 for a possible long. All right, keep rolling. Billy, don't you lose my number. All right, a long off 72.65 is what I'm looking for on Billy, BILI. All right, so we got a monthly pivot down there. I wrote 72.65 right down in right in this area off the monthly pivot. You could also see the prior support area. Not sure it's going to make it down there or not. It's already 74.97 pre-market. So it is coming in. We'll see if it makes it down there. But what I wrote down there, something about the notes. But I, you know what it is? I'm sorry. I was trying to figure out what I had written down on here. They did some convertible notes. That's why the stock's dropping this morning, okay? On Billy, BILI. So let's see if it stops off at that monthly pivot down at 72.65. All right, next one, two more guys. Not bad on timing, I don't think. Not too bad. All right, GLBE I wrote down. I have two trades on GLBE. First of all, I'm looking at a long at 60.20. I'm more interested in the short, but let's say the long off 60.20, which is right down here. There's a 126-day down there, which is a 6-month. But I wanted to look at, you see this prior resist up here? Let's see. $5 ATR pushes it right into this level, the 69.70 area. You got a little bit up there. So I'm looking for a short at 68.90. So anywhere between that 68.70 pocket, I think could be a nice little short on GLBE. Got a quarterly pivot, prior resistance. You also got a volume profile here. If you look up at it from, I think this is about 4 or 5 months out. If I dragged it down, it would drop, but I think it's 4 or 5 months out on the volume profile as well. Point of control. So that's it on GLBE. Last one for this one is TJX. Couldn't leave this off my screen this morning. TJX, it's really, if you look at the action, I'm going to change this to this. You can see how it opened up right here at the 76.50 area or close to it. It touched it, it tried it again later and really failed. And it's just it's kind of stayed heavy all day. So I'm not sure it's going to do it. This has over a billion share float, had a huge day yesterday. I just think it's going to continue to give some of it back and come down into that 72s. So we'll see what happens on this. Nothing wrong with the numbers. It's already kind of drifted a little bit. Pre-market's down at 73. It was a little bit higher when I put this on there for this level. I think this might be an early morning push if it does push. Maybe even at 76 as a starter, which is the previous monthly right there. But watch TGX. I think would be a nice fade at 76.50 is what I have written down. Any quick questions before I? That's all on my list. There was one little bonus one I had on here, by the way. Not a bonus one, but I did have Caesar written down too. CZR, as it's coming into support in that 200-day CZR. I didn't write it down on my morning report, but you could see it here. CZR it's trading at 102. Watch it off 99 CZR. If it comes down to prior support, you got an annual down here at 99.60, and you also got the 200-day. This could be a nice one if it does a quick flush into 99. All right. So that's it from my end. I just want to give it a second, make sure there's no nothing that I missed or anybody else has anything you want me to take a quick peek at. I do have a few minutes to go over anything. What was my Cisco level? My Cisco level was a long off 50.10 and a short off 55.95. Yeah, and if you guys like what we're putting out, or you guys have comments or questions of how I can make this better, by the way, please put it in the comment section, guys. I mean, this is, I'm no pro YouTuber or anything like that. I love hearing the feedback of what I could do better. If you guys want more commentary or different different things, just throw it out there at me. I get the worst case scenario is I say no or I don't implement it. So if that's it though, are you watching Macys? Not really. It's been actually on the my Market Smith for a while. I'm not watching Macys today. I saw KSS reported. Did Macys report this morning as well, right? Didn't they report? Yeah, I didn't put Macys on my list. I think they reported a little bit after I had put my list together, which was like at 7:30 or so. So, no, sorry about that, Nang. I did not see that. Can you check? Let me see. I prefer being live as it was before. Is Draftking coming into your swing levels for you? Daniel, I'm not ready for DraftKings yet. It keeps making new lows on the daily. This DraftKings right here. So I like to see these things kind of turn and at least hold a level. And I'm not saying that this is a long, but you see I've finally chugged, kind of found a bottom here, CHGG. And it's at least holding. I like to see it at least hold somewhere. It's not even holding anywhere now. Do I think that there could be a great trade in DraftKings? Yeah, I do. I really do. But am I ready to start adding and then just keep adding as it comes in and makes new lows on the daily every day? No, I'm not ready to do that yet. So that's kind of where I'm at on that one, Daniel. Yeah, I don't do a lot with crypto. I mean, I every so often, I'll look at a Riot and Mara. But I really don't do a lot of crypto. Sorry. It's I know Ricky covers it every Sunday, so you do have coverage on it. Chicago Microsoft. Yeah, I don't have much to say on Microsoft. I don't know. So when you guys ask questions, by the way, this is what I do in the Goose Room all the time. We talk about this. So I just want to kind of relate to you guys too. Put your thoughts. Put Microsoft. I'm thinking of a long off, whatever, 335. What's your thoughts? Put something in your thoughts, like, because just typing a symbol with a question mark doesn't do much for me. I like to hear you guys. I want this to be interactive. Does that make sense? So I want you guys to be interactive with me. I mean, I'm a real dude. I'm here. I'm here for you guys. I'm here to help you as much as I can with the time that we have. And just if you want me to look at a chart, put what your thoughts are. It's looking at this from a long or a short, up at this level. You're looking at a possible short on it? Yeah, I don't see the fade on Microsoft yet. That's just me. I see the candle from yesterday. How you gonna talk about the candle, and then maybe it's found its top and you could trade it off that previous day's high. I just don't see it. It keeps making higher lows on the daily, higher low, higher low, higher low. It's just made a new high here, so I'm just not sure it's set up, on as far as as Microsoft to me for a short yet. Nike as well. What's your thoughts on Nike, Chicago? Same idea, trading it off those recent highs, or? So, Andres, I'm going to come back to you on this on ETFs, okay? Because I'm going to make a comment that maybe you don't love, but I'm going to still make it. And I'm waiting. Nike rally to new highs, buy the dips. Okay, so you like the long on Nike. Nike. Yeah, Nike looks good. I was going to say I don't see the short yet on this. This is another one. To me, this looks similar to a Microsoft chart. To me, Chicago. So I like this. I like the higher lows on the daily as it's making every day. You got the 20-day right here, 169. I'd be looking at the off that 170 area, but that's pretty tight. 169, 170, maybe 170 with a 169 add on Nike for a possibility if you're looking for an intraday. IONQ. So I'm gonna wrap things up in a second. IONQ. So I don't short these type of names, Joseph. It's not for me. I've been burned too many times since I've been in the business, just shorting these crazy names that are just, and we talked about this, was it last year when we had FSLY, was it JKS, and some of these names that just got real silly, and everybody was shorting them front side. They were seeing these huge candles and just shorting them, and the stock ended up going to whatever, 70, 80 bucks, and everybody got annihilated on it, saying, oh my God, it's up too much, it's up too big. If you know some sort of fundamental reasons, why, as far as a short, it's a different story if you're building a short or swinging it. But I avoid these type of charts for, intraday. For me, that's just how I trade them, Joseph. Going back to Andres regarding the ETFs, I avoid really talking about ETFs. They're just a different breed, and I know some of you guys trade them and do great with them, and that's, I'm all for it if you know how to trade them, but they're a different vehicle. So with that being said, I don't really make commentary, regarding the ETFs. I think people got to be really careful and avoid those. So I think that's about it, guys. It's already 8:50. It's, we're getting ready to roll here. Hopefully you guys, keep tuning in, guys. I hope you guys like the live version. I'm going to try to keep these to like 20 minutes so people can watch it back. So, with that all being said, I'm going to end it here. But make sure you guys are tuned in to Sunday Prep. Make sure you guys tune into the Method and Mindset, guys. If you guys continue with any questions, leave them in the comments field. What I'm going to try to do is my format is I'm going to try to leave like 15 minutes and then leave like five minutes or so. My thing usually goes about 15 minutes, and I'll leave 5 minutes or so to go over a couple quick symbols and names with you guys. But listen, if you guys have any problems or questions, come check us out over at TrueTrader.net. I encourage you. We've gotten some incredible feedback for people that have made the jump, and awesome community, very helpful, and I think you guys will be real happy there. So if you're not already part of the True Trader community, hopefully you come check us out. Other than that, let's have a great day today. Trade well, and look forward to doing this again next week, all right? Have a great day, guys. Thank you so much.